This program is presented by Hunter's Fund, formed in memory of Hunter Watson, a young entrepreneur who died at age 20 as a passenger in a distracted driving accident. Hunter's Fund seeks to support young people with promising ideas and to raise awareness of the dangers of distracted driving.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Yes Series podcast. I'm your host, Jacob O'Connor. Today joining us is the Hunter Watson Entrepreneurial Award winner, Justin Diaz. Justin is a man of many talents, but perhaps most notably the founder of EcoBamboo Living. How are you doing today, Justin?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Living another day, grateful to be here and crunching it out,
So it came up, offline whenever we were talking that you are not actually living, you're from New York and that's where you typically reside. But right now you are in Colorado. So I thought it was pretty interesting if you could share why you're there.
Yeah, definitely. Being from New York, I got this opportunity, from Syracuse University to attend the Watson Institute, which is an accelerator program helping me basically accelerate my social venture, EcoBamboo Living. So I'm here for a semester, taking a leave, and then I'll return for the spring.
But first, I kind of want to go back into your background a little bit, into your past, and kind of analyze, like, how did you even get to this point, right? Like, who even is Justin Diaz? So if you could share a little bit about your background, what you think kind of led up to this moment in time.
I was born in St. Vincent Hospital, Manhattan, raised by my grandmother and my mother in Brooklyn, Ridgewood. It was tough for a little bit. And then my grandmother, she blessed us with an apartment in her building in Manhattan. So for the majority of my life, I lived in the Lower East Side, and growing up in a sort of a notorious neighborhood, drugs, violence, all that, gang members. Really, I wanted to do different from what I was used to seeing. And I started playing basketball. That's where, my life started heading into a brighter direction, being, from middle school, going to high school, playing during those times. I was blessed enough to attend a boarding school called the Kiski School my second ninth grade year, because I did my first ninth grade year in New York City at one of the worst high schools called Murray Bertram. And I was just like, wow, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not like none of these kids. I'm not selling drugs, I don't do fights, so I was on top of my grade A student. So I needed a change, and I was blessed with an opportunity to be affiliated with the Boys Club in New York. And I was fortunate enough to get pretty much a full ride to the Kiski School, an all-boys independent school out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Played basketball there. Unfortunately, didn't get recruited, but I learned a lot, built a lot, seen new things, and was able to experience the world, a world that I never thought I could potentially see. That eventually led me to going to Syracuse University and being a part of HOP, Higher Educational Opportunity Program, which provides financial support for low-income families, predominantly in New York State, who live in New York State. That's when I was like really interested in creating a business for myself, and getting a taste of entrepreneurship. I asked my counselor, where can I speak to somebody within my university to potentially build a business or, talk about entrepreneurship? Because I have no clue what it was. I was just curious at the time. And he invited me to the Launchpad, and I met this wonderful lady called Linda Hartsock. And, she paved the way for me. And, basically one day told me, we sat down. I was like, hey, look, I'm interested in starting a business. I just don't know where to start. Like, this is new to me. And she just gave me the advice to, write down everything you are wanting to do in life. And, I was at that point, I was putting, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an actor. I want to tackle climate change. I want to get into real estate. I don't want to work 9 to 5 and everything like that. So I was like, okay. I went to her a couple of days after my whole list of everything that I wanted to do in life. And she was like, okay, there was a teapot across from us. And I never forget this. She was like, you see that water in the teapot? You have to boil the water in the teapot. Don't try to boil the ocean. I was like, okay, whatever that meant, a couple of days later, I was in my room searching up some things, looking at my notes. I was like, okay, how can I potentially put real estate and climate change together? I literally searched up on Google. I was like, how can I substitute a material that is sustainable in housing? And there was a list of about 30. I remember the first two was hemp and straw. And number seven is my lucky number because everybody in my household was born in the month of July. And number 7 happened to be bamboo. So I was like, okay, let me just see what this is about. The research was phenomenal, finding out that bamboo is primarily big outside of the United States, South America, Asia. A lot of universities are doing research on engineered bamboo as a building material because its properties, comparable to steel and concrete. It's considered a poor man's timber. So I wanted to give back in the sense of, people, low-income families who didn't have an opportunity to housing, to provide that for them in a way that's sustainable, that can withstand these natural disasters, especially like in Puerto Rico, because I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, and hurricane really took a toll on the island of Puerto Rico. And from that point on, I really wanted to make a difference and try to see how I can sort of manipulate this material into building a full bamboo home for these families where it can withstand these natural disasters and, don't have that burden on them when it comes again or if it comes again.
Well, I mean, you took a very large risk. I mean, what went into this decision to drop school for a semester, go out to Colorado, run with this accelerator, and try and push your business forward? Like that couldn't have been too easy of a decision to make.
No, it wasn't at all. During COVID, I was going through a really rough time with school, doing the hybrid system, going online. I'm very much a hands-on learner. So, I felt like I needed some time to, one, refresh myself, and two, and focus on something that I'm really passionate about and focus on making an impact, to not even the world, just, one person. My life's mission is just, if I can build a concept home for an individual in Puerto Rico or wherever and put a smile on a family or individual's face, I would feel complete. It doesn't even have to go beyond that. Just knowing that I had that impact on someone's life and bringing something new into the market potentially, I feel accomplished.
That's incredible. And you're just getting started too. Um, are these full-size bamboo houses or are they tiny homes?
So yeah, I'm working on modular tiny homes. Eventually, I do want to expand to tiny home communities. Community is a big part of me. If we have people around us that are similar, infinite things can happen. Infinite things can be explored, and I'm very, very close with my community everywhere I go. I try to give back in any way I can, wherever I'm at.
Have you actually been able to build out any of the houses yet? Or are you still figuring out some of the logistics?
Definitely still figuring out the logistics, talking to researchers, making sure I'm giving the customers what they want and not what I think they want. Speaking with a lot of people in Colorado, this is a pretty tiny home friendly state.
Mm-hmm.
So communities that I'm reaching out to so I can connect with some of the tiny homeowners and speak on behalf of what they love about a tiny home, what they feel like needs improvement. Would they want something like this, a sustainable bamboo home? At the end of the day, it's not what I want and what my dreams are, it's what they want. And if I can give them what they want and need, essentially, that's all that matters.
Not to put you on the spot, but if you get these things rolling out, are you going to live in one?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm actually looking to create also a for-profit branch with my company. The donations and getting donors of grants, grant writing for these tiny homes for the low income families. I also sort of want to, use the town model per se, where I build like more high end, luxurious bamboo homes and use a percentage or use some of the proceeds to donate a home to a family in need. One not for me, but for them, and also to allow people to give an impact in a way they never thought they could.
That's incredible. Just the business model itself is fascinating, but the social arm that you have as well, I can only imagine that's advantageous for getting people to want to help you because you're not just driven by growing this yourself. I mean, what haven't you done? You played basketball at a very high level.
Okay.
You are now doing entrepreneurship with the EcoBamboo Living. And it also came up whenever I was talking to you that you're an actor. Like, where does that even come from?
Before I started playing basketball, like in fourth grade, fifth grade, I was very big into theater. I was a part of Rosie's Broadway Kids. I was a part of NDI in my elementary school. And I really fell in love with that. I used to do public speaking at that very young age. And I just fell in love. But gradually, as I grew older, I fell in love with basketball. And that took me where I am, currently today, and made me the man I am today. The beautiful people I met along the way, some of my mentors, Glenn Williams, Tim Burns, they were father figures for me as I was growing up. They paved the way. They showed me lessons in life, and humbly and grateful for them every step of the way, because they were really big trainers and very known in the basketball world and community within New York. So yeah, after I graduated high school, not playing Division I basketball or any division basketball, unfortunately, I was lost. And I was like, hey, like, what am I gonna do with my life? And there's another mentor of mine, named Freddie Bosch. He happened to tell me, follow your inner child. And at that point, I had no clue what that meant. I was like, inner child? What you mean? I'm an adult now. I'm like 18. I'm no child. He was like, just listen to within. And, he's giving me these little cliche like phrases. And I was just like, okay, whatever that means. And then one day, I was passing through a theater class in my school. And I was like watching it. I was like, wow, this is like really great, but I wouldn't want to do theater. You know what I mean? And I was like, how can I get involved? And I totally forgot that there's film. There's like a film world. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, maybe I should try that out. I was seeing some auditions on the board, the bulletin board and all that, but I just didn't know where to start. And thankfully, my mentor, Freddie Bosch, who was also became like a brother to me, and he guided the way for me. And they just helped me, one, get my SAG card. For people who don't know what a SAG is, a SAG actor is a union actor, where these professionals, these big celebrities are within the union. To protect their rights. And yeah, just from that moment on, learning about how to get in the acting world, how to act in general, it just stuck with me because I fell in love with it. It allowed me to get away from the world, but I was being in a character or having similarities to a character, and being in front of that camera just felt like I was in a different planet. And it still feels phenomenal to be in those positions and work with high celebrities, or big people who are working their way up in the industry as well. Yeah, so it just stuck with me. I was booking left and right at a time before COVID happened, and built a resume, got agents, got a manager, and I'm just keeping at it and hoping for the best. Eventually, what I want to do with my acting career is, when I get to that certain level I'm reaching for, I want to voice what I'm passionate about. I want to voice eco. I want to, build homes for these families, and I want people to support me.
So I think a lot of people, I mean, first of all, super impressive. I think a lot of people look at it and say, okay, you got acting and then entrepreneurship, and they don't like go together. They almost distract from each other. It sounds like you're making the point of no, acting is an outlet to almost plug what I'm doing in entrepreneurship and kind of get that message out there. Is that correct?
Yes, for sure. I'm sort of a social media head, not to brag or anything, but like on my Instagram, my TikTok, I have over 10,000 followers, and my YouTube, I have 1,000. I'm almost close to monetizing my account. So social media has been a big part of my life, and I feel like social media is a big part of our culture now. And to get anything that you want out of life, or you want a voice for, it begins with social media, for people to see what you're doing, and for people to see what you're passionate about. And as you know, acting is sort of a gateway. If once you hit a higher level, that people are just ready to back you up in any way. And I want to be that positive influence, and I want to shine a light on sustainability, on in housing, climate change, and those important topics that we're not talking. Well, we are talking about it, but we're not talking about it enough now today.
I have one more. Actually, I got two questions for you. The first one's quick. Where can people find you online if they want to connect, learn more, ask you some questions?
Yeah, definitely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Justin Diaz, or you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Justin Gio Diaz. There's JUSTIN GIODIAZ.
What advice would you offer to anyone who might be at the beginning of kind of their cycle that you went through? They have an entrepreneurial kind of vein in them, and they want to do something like that, some crazy idea. They don't have that confirmation yet. What advice would you offer to that person, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, definitely. My first piece of advice would definitely be to definitely don't be afraid to reach out to anybody. No question is dumb, and I definitely learned that along my journey as I'm still trying to figure out my logistics within my company. I'm just interviewing and asking away like it's water. No question is dumb. No question is too simple. No question is too complex. someone knows the answer out there. And once you keep on connecting and growing your network, the answers will get answered. And a big part of Watson is like the first part of our semester is all about making your unknowns known. And that's what I strive for in life, not just within my company, but in life as well. If I don't know something, I'm going to go ask for it. And, having that courage to go out there and ask for it.
Support from viewers like you make these grants possible. Support Hunters Fund.